Welcome to The Real Story. I'm your host, Riley Lewis. Thank you for joining us. President Trump is on a mission. A historic mission unlike anything that's been seen from any other U.S. president in modern history. A mission designed to completely overhaul the country for the better. A mission that should make all Americans, regardless of political party, proud. A mission that would make the founders proud. Simply put, it's a mission to make America great again, and maybe even greater than it ever was beforehand. Despite the lawfare schemes against him, all the lies told about him by the corrupt, lying legacy media, and not one, but two attempts to assassinate him in less than 2 months in the 2024 election cycle, Trump is dedicated to getting the U.S. back on the right track before everything spirals out of control. However, there's one giant obstacle when it comes to fixing America. It's not China. It's not Iran. It's not even Russia. The biggest obstacle to fixing this country is bureaucracy. There is no greater threat to innovation than bureaucracy, and Washington, D.C. is rife with it. We're talking about hundreds of federal agencies replete with their own funding, their own staffing, and their own agendas. And the unelected bureaucrats who run them seem to believe that they're untouchable, because they have been untouchable, historically speaking. But that's changing right now. On Tuesday, the Supreme Court cleared the way for the Trump administration to pursue mass federal layoffs by lifting a lower court's ruling that blocked Trump from doing so. He previously instructed federal agencies to prepare for layoffs in an executive order that was issued in February. However, its enforcement was blocked by a U.S. district judge based in San Francisco. The judge's name is Susan Ilston, and she ruled that he overstepped his authority by not consulting Congress about the plan. However, this new ruling from the nation's highest court means Trump can proceed with his plans, at least for now. Now, the court didn't rule on the legality of any specific layoff plans, instead focusing on his authority to restructure federal agencies. But even still, this is a notable step in the right direction. And speaking of steps in the right direction, there are also some updates about Trump's economic agenda today as well. While countries all over the world scramble to avoid a new round of tariffs on their goods, Trump has proposed a wide range of sweeping levies. For example, he plans to enact a 50% tariff on copper starting August 1st. And he broke the news earlier today, writing this on Truth Social. I am announcing a 50% tariff on copper, effective August 1st, 2025, after receiving a robust national security assessment. Copper is necessary for semiconductors, aircraft, ships, ammunition, data centers, lithium-ion batteries, radar systems, missile defense systems, and even hypersonic weapons, of which we are building many. Copper is the second most used material by the Department of Defense. Why did our foolish and sleepy leaders decimate this important industry? This 50% tariff will reverse the Biden administration's thoughtless behavior and stupidity. America will, once again, build a dominant copper industry. This is, after all, our golden age. Interesting. But that's not the end of it either. Trump also said 200% tariffs on pharmaceuticals are coming soon on Tuesday, although the timeline on when that tariff would take effect isn't quite clear. But in any case, it's all a part of Trump's mission to fix America. Now the only question is this: what will Democrats do to thwart the mission? First, they relied on the intervention of activist judges to stop this president. But that strategy hasn't really proven to be a successful one. They've also lied to the American people about what this president is doing, presumably to manufacture opposition. They've even slammed his sweeping legislative bill in a desperate attempt to stop it from being passed, but that also failed, and it went into law. However, speaking of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, it appears that Democrats in Colorado, of all places, are already working on a plan to offset its benefit to Colorado residents. And our first guest today has all the details about what's really happening here. So here with reaction is Republican Congressman Gabe Evans, the U.S. representative of Colorado's 8th Congressional District.